Hello and welcome to another episode of TEW 2020 WWE. We are here on the Go Home shows heading into SummerSlam. One more episode of Raw, NXT and Smackdown all finalising their plans and all setting the stages for what will hopefully be a really good pay-per-view. And we're kicking off the week here with Raw as usual. We start backstage with Kyle O'Reilly, the United Champion, knocking on Drake Maverick, the general manager's door, going into his office here. Kyle asking Drake why he's been told to come here, and Drake Maverick saying that last week Kyle O'Reilly injured Kevin Owens in the six-man tag team main event, and Drake says that it's disappointing, it's quite frankly just annoying, because obviously the plans, Kevin Owens and Kyle O'Reilly going one-on-one at SummerSlam for the United States title, those are out the window now. And Kyle says, I guess I get the night off then. And Drake says, oh, no. No, it just means that I've had to think, I've had to decide what to do instead. And I've come up with a really amazing idea I think you're going to love. So instead of Kyle O'Reilly going one-on-one with Kevin Owens for the United States title at SummerSlam, it's going to be Kyle O'Reilly versus Bryan versus Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles versus The Miz versus Seth Rollins in a six-man ladder match. Kyle O'Reilly understandably angry, and Jake saying, oh no, you haven't got any time to complain, Kyle, because you need to go get ready, because you've actually got a match later on tonight with one of those competitors, Bryan. So if I were you, I'd go get ready for that, for an 80. Kyle not very happy finding out about this championship match change for him at SummerSlam. Before we head into the first match of the evening, we've got 3 one-on-one matches between those challengers. The first one here, Jeff Hardy taking on Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins picks up the win with the ripcord knee in the end for an 80. Decent match. Seth sadly off his game, but still getting 79, 72 from Jeff. Happy enough with this. Pretty good from these two. Can't really complain too much as Seth Rollins comes out on top. We then go backstage to a confrontation between the hardcore champion Timothy Thatcher and the man he will be facing at SummerSlam, Tommaso Ciampa, and the two men are brawling it out backstage. They're going at it, they're throwing each other into walls, through doors, in the end eventually being separated, being dragged apart. These two men wanting to hurt each other, and they will get that opportunity very, very soon at SummerSlam for a 71 here. Before we have the next match of this evening, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Tyler Breeze, taking on the Team Breezango, will be defending their championships against the SummerSlam, the Celtic Warriors. It's Tyler Breeze versus Sheamus right now, and Sheamus picks up the win with the bro kick. A brutal display here from Sheamus, breaking Tyler Breeze piece by piece, and in the end taking out the bro kick for a 61. 58 from Sheamus, 60 from Breeze. Okay from these two as Sheamus comes out on top. After the match, Fandango going in the ring to check on his partner Tyler Breeze, while Sheamus gets his arm raised. McIntyre going in the ring, pushing the ref away and raising Sheamus's arm before they turn their attention to Fandango, and the two men attack Fandango as well. Breeze trying to help, but he's too injured, and Sheamus hitting Fandango, dazing him, allowing McIntyre to go to the corner and hit a Claymore kick on him as the Celtic Warriors stand tall here for a 71. Very good work between the two teams here. And then next up, we have another singles match between two of the United States title ladder match participants. It's AJ Styles taking on The Miz here, and AJ Styles comes out on top with the Styles Clash in the end for an 81. Good match between these two. 85 from Styles, 70 from The Miz. If you haven't noticed my approach to replacing Kevin Owens, there wasn't any time to build a story that was big, so I just went for let's have the best match possible by putting 5 other really good participants in there. So hopefully it will get a really good rating. 81 between these two here. Happy with that. We then go backstage to Sasha Banks being interviewed by Charlie Caruso. Charlie Caruso asking Banks about her attacking Bayley last week, and Sasha Banks saying that she is tired of Bayley dragging her down. That this has been a long time coming, And it was finally the right moment for Sasha to cut that dead weight off that was holding her back when Bayley storms in saying, "I'm dead weight, huh?" And the two women start to brawl a little, eventually being dragged apart. This heating to a boiling point between Sasha Banks and Bayley. And they've got a match at SummerSlam as well. Who's going to come out on top there? We're going to have to wait and see. It's an 82 for this segment, though, which is really, really good. Before we head into the next piece of action here, a tag team match between the Women's World Champion Asuka and the woman she'll be facing at SummerSlam, Miss Money in the Bank Ember Moon, taking on Deonna Purrazzo and Karma. And in the end, Asuka locking Deonna Purrazzo into that Asuka lock. Purrazzo with nowhere to go on the floor in the middle of the ring. Karma staggering towards Purrazzo to try and break it up when Ember Moon flies in with an eclipse, taking out Karma. Purrazzo, no choice but to tap out, giving Asuka and Ember Moon the win here. For a 73, really good work here. 76 from Asuka, carrying this. Ember Moon and Purrazzo with a 56 each, and 48 from Karma. All pretty good here. After the match, Asuka and Ember Moon getting their arms raised, and then going face to face again. They've got that match Sunday, one-on-one. Ember Moon could have waited till Asuka was hurt, could have waited till there was a new champion perhaps, but no, she wanted Asuka. She wanted Asuka to be 100% fit and ready, because she says that's the Asuka she needs to beat, and she'll get her opportunity at SummerSlam. It's a 75 here for the post. Really good work. Before a promo video plays from Kevin Owens talking about his injury, how disappointed he is. You know, he's had surgery, though, and he says that he's going to be training, he's going to be rehabbing, and he's going to do everything it takes to get back to WWE as soon as possible, because this is what he loves to do. This is where he needs to be. And he ends it with a warning to the Undisputed Era, saying that they should watch their back, because Kevin Owens isn't done with them yet. For an 88 here, really good work from Kevin Owens. Just a little promo from him here. Disappointed he's not going to be at SummerSlam. He's done so well so far this post-WrestleMania, but lots to look forward to in the future for him. As we head into the next match this evening, Pete Dunne taking on Sami Zayn. They fought twice already. Dunne won the first, Zayn the second. Who will come out on top in the end here? And Pete Dunne does get the win with the bitter end to Sami Zayn for a 70, 58 from Zayn, 63 from Dunne, as Pete Dunne does come out on top in the end here, celebrating after the match, dealing with Sami Zayn once and for all here for a 65. Happy with this. Before we head into the main event of this evening, we have the final of those one-on-one matches from the United States ladder match. Daniel Bryan going one-on-one with the United States champion Kyle O'Reilly, and in the end, Daniel Bryan manages to lock in the LeBell Lock onto Kyle, and Kyle, probably partly in genuine pain, partly unable to escape, and maybe partly as well, has his mind on that six-way ladder match at SummerSlam, thinking, I don't want to get too hurt here, tapping out. Daniel Bryan getting the win here for an 84. Really good match between these two. Daniel Bryan with the 80, 79 from Kyle, and really happy with that. After the match, Daniel Bryan, Kyle O'Reilly rolling out the ring, Daniel Bryan getting his arm raised when he is attacked from behind, getting his arms raised, turning around into AJ Styles' phenomenal forearm, taking him out. AJ Styles celebrating for a moment before The Miz sneaks in from behind and hits a skull-crushing finale onto AJ Styles. The Miz getting up, doing his little pose against the rope, turning around, heading to the other rope, but only instead turning into a twist of fate from Jeff Hardy, taking him down. Jeff Hardy hitting the twist of fate, and then still on the floor a little bit as Seth Rollins storms in and hits a curb stomp onto Jeff Hardy. And in the end, it's Seth Rollins who stands tall, getting the United States title from ringside, standing on top of the announcers table and lifting the United States Championship into the air. A preview of what's to come at SummerSlam, we will have to wait and see here, but I think that these 6 competitors can have a really, really good match, and hopefully the ladder match will deliver rating-wise. An 86 for the post, though, here. Really, really good again from this gang. As for after this segment, we have the final segment of the night here for Raw, heading into SummerSlam. Angel Garza, the king of the ring, making his way down to the ring for an 83, followed by, of course, the WWE champion, Edge, for an 89 here. And then with Drake Maverick there, they sit at opposite ends of the table. Edge has the WWE title perched on his side. Angel Garza has his crown on his side. And they're going back and forth. Angel Garza talking about how much this means to him to get this opportunity so early in his career to become WWE champion. It's something he's dreamed of all his life, and now it's in touching distance right there across the table from him. And come Sunday, the opportunity to become WWE champion, to hold it, to get his name engraved on it, to get his nameplates onto it. This is the moment he's waited for, to reach the top, to taste that wine of success, of victory, of champions. And that is why he can't let this opportunity slip through his fingers like he did the NXT Championship one. Edge congratulating Garza, saying he sees the hunger in him, that desire, that natural ability to get to the top. And on another night against another guy, Angel Garza, maybe that will get him there. Maybe that'll win the WWE title for him. But not at SummerSlam. Because Angel Garza talks about not being able to let this slip through his fingers. Edge feels the same way. He was gone for so long. He fought so hard to get back. He got back. He fought so hard even more to get that WWE Championship opportunity. To win that WWE Championship once again. And now he can't let it slip through his fingers. Because he's not ready to stop being WWE champion. He's not ready to lose it. He's not ready for that moment where he has to realise maybe it's time to call it quits once again. And that is why, come SummerSlam, come the main event, it only ends one way, and that is with Edge still WWE champion, because he can't lose. Because he doesn't know what he'll do if he does lose, and so he can't lose. Both men signing the contracts, and then the table being moved as Edge and Garza stare down. There's no brawl, there's no attacks, there's also no handshake or anything. These two men ready for war at SummerSlam, and it's an 87 here for the contract signing. Really good from these two, helping the Go Home episode of Raw to get an 85. Really good episode of Raw, as to be expected at this point, really. Increased our popularity in 48 regions. Really happy with that. I'll go over the entire SummerSlam card at the end of the episode, but for now, that is it with Monday Night Raw, and now heading into the Go Home show, heading into SummerSlam of NXT. And NXT gets underway here with Becky Lynch making her way out to the ring for a 92. Really good from Lynch, and she is followed by the NXT Women's Champion, Tegan Nox, who comes out for 77. And the two women who will be fighting for that NXT Women's title at SummerSlam sit across from each other at the table. Becky Lynch talking about taking time away, but how much it means to her to come back here and to be at SummerSlam, a huge show. It talks about how she is ready to finally take that blemish of never being NXT Women's Champion off her record, because at SummerSlam, the man will come around and the man will become NXT's Women's Champion. And Tegan Nox responds saying that as much as she loves Becky, as much as she looks up to Becky and admires Becky, and as much as she can't wait to go one-on-one with Becky, Becky needs to realise that Tegan Nox isn't just going to roll over, that Tegan Nox is NXT Women's Champion for a reason, because she deserves that belt. And so come SummerSlam, Tegan Nox says she's going to enter NXT Women's Champion, and Becky Lynch can fight, she can claw, she can do everything in her power, but in the end, Tegan Nox will stay NXT's Women's Champion for an 84. The two women signing the contracts, showing some respect, but come SummerSlam, it's going to be a good match, I would hope, between these two. Before we head into the first match of this evening, tag team action, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez taking on Candice LeRae and Natalya. Kai and Gonzalez contesting for the NXT. Kai and Gonzalez fighting for the women's tag team titles at SummerSlam. Having a warm-up match here against the put-together pair of Candice LeRae and Natalya. And Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez come out on top in the end. Kai pinning LeRae with the GTK. 62 for the match, 57 for Gonzalez, 52 LeRae, 51 Kai, 45 Natalya. LeRae sadly off a game as well, but 62 still pretty good here, I would say, for the opener here. And then a promo video plays for Chad Gable, former US champion, making his move over to the black and gold brand and making his debut next up. The promo for an 84, and then Chad Gable's NXT debut against Cedric Alexander. And Chad Gable does come out on top with the ankle lock. Cedric no choice but to tap out as Chad Gable gets the win on his NXT debut here for a 73 segment rating wise. Very good. 77 from Gable, 57 from Cedric. Both doing alright. Chad doing better in-ring performance-wise and coming out on top in the end here on his new show. We then go backstage to an interview. Bobby Lashley and MVP being interviewed. Come at SummerSlam, Bobby Lashley taking on Keith Lee for that NXT North American Championship. MVP talking about how last week Keith Lee got lucky when Lashley and Lee took each other out during that title match, and he says that Lee won't get that lucky again come SummerSlam, because come SummerSlam, Lashley adds the NXT North American Championship to his collection of gold he has won for 76 here. Pretty good promo. Before we head into some more tag team action, we have the Cruiserweight Tag Team title number 1 contenders, Legado, Santos Escobar and Humberto Carrillo, taking on the Mysterios. The Cruiserweight title number 1 contender, Dominic, and of course his father, Rey Mysterio. And the Mysterios do pick up the win here. Dominic Mysterio rolling up Humberto Carrillo in the end and picking up a big win for a 66. Dominic keeping that momentum going into his title match against Andrade at SummerSlam. 73 from Rey, 65 Escobar, 60 Carrillo, 33 Dominic. Dominic still very new. Still got to build up his in-ring performance ratings, but doing well so far. I would say I'm happy with him thus far. And then after the match, Andrade storming into the ring, attacking Dominic. Rey fighting him off. Andrade managing to take out Rey Mysterio, but then Dominic attacking Andrade, kicking him into the rope, setting up for the 619. Dominic running at Andrade, but Escobar and Carrillo drag Andrade out the ring before Dominic can 619 him. But the Cruiserweight title left in the middle of the ring. Dominic picking up Andrade, not happy, but Dominic Mysterio raising the Cruiserweight title over his head. A preview of what's to come at SummerSlam, perhaps, but we'll have to wait and find out. It's a 76 here for the post segment, though, so I'm happy with that. We then have an interview with the NXT North American Champion, Keith Lee. He says he heard what Lashley and MVP had to say, and last week him and Lashley had a war. And at SummerSlam, Lee says he's sure they'll have a war again, but he needs Lashley to know that at the end of this war, the NXT North American Championship will stay exactly where it is, and that is over the shoulder of the limitless one, Keith Lee, for a 90 here. Really good promo work from Keith Lee, as to be expected, to be honest. And then next up we have Damian Priest taking on the Velveteen Dream. It's a back and forth match towards the end. Much like a lot of Priest matches over the past few weeks, the lights go out. Finn Balor's opening little bit starts to play, and they come back on. No one's there. There's smoke all over the ring and the ramp. Velveteen Dream going to take advantage of the distraction, goes for a super kick on Priest, who ducks under it and manages to hit Velveteen Dream with the Reckoning and pick up the win here for a 67 from Dream, 63 from Priest, but Priest comes out on top here after the match. Damian Priest celebrating the win, asking Balor to come out. The lights go out again, and when they come back on, behind Damian Priest is not Finn Balor as we know him, but it is the demon Finn Balor, who storms into Priest. Priest escaping the ring, Balor chasing after him, brawling throughout up the ramp and backstage for 79 here. Priest beat Finn Balor, but it seems he summoned something much worse, as in the ring the Velveteen Dream manages to get to his feet, a bit dazed and confused when the lights go out again, and when they come back on, it appears the Fiend has answered Velveteen Dream's requests, as the Fiend is here. Velveteen Dream been challenging the Fiend, and it looks like he's going to get what he wants, as the Fiend grabs Velveteen Dream and hits him with a Sister Abigail for an 87. Is the Velveteen Dream going to live to regret calling out the Fiend? We'll have to find out come SummerSlam. As we head into the main event of this evening, Aleister Black taking on Cameron Grimes. And Aleister Black does pick up the win with the Black Mass in the end for a 75, 81 from Black, 63 from Grimes. Good match this, happy with this. as after the match, the music of John Cena hits and John Cena makes his way out to the ring. Aleister Black made the challenge and John Cena's out here to accept it. SummerSlam, Aleister Black versus John Cena, a dream match between the relatively new superstar to WWE and the future First Class Hall of Famer. Who will come out on top? Who knows, but it'll be a good match, I'm sure. For an 85 here, as we head into the final segments of the night, making his way to the ring, Randy Orton for an 89, followed by the NXT champion Karrion Kross and Scarlett for a 90. And then Randy Orton talks about how he's known as the Legend Killer, because that's what he did. That's what he's done over his whole career. He takes out legends to prove that Randy Orton is the step above the evolution of a superstar. But now here he is in NXT with Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross isn't a legend. He's just a little bitch that has something Randy wants. And so, come SummerSlam, the Legend Killer will have to make an exception and take out Karrion Kross and get that NXT Championship away from him. And this amuses Scarlett and Kross, and Karrion saying that he respects Orton as a competitor, as a superstar, as a wrestler. But his days as the Legend Killer, as the Apex Predator, are over. Because there's someone new at the top of the food chain. And come SummerSlam, come the pay-per-view, come SummerSlam, Karrion Kross will make Randy accept that fact. And he will make him do what everyone else around here will do. And that is fall and pray to the NXT champion. For an 86 here, Karrion Kross and Scarlett signing the contract and then getting out of there before Orton can RKO him out of nowhere. A wise decision probably before their match. But it's a good final segment for NXT and it's a good go-home show overall, I'd say, which gets a 83. Yeah, good episode of NXT here. Increased popularity in 27 regions. Happy with that. NXT. A lot of moving parts heading into SummerSlam. Managed to squeeze all of them into the show here though, and I have high hopes for quite a few of these matches ratings wise, so happy with this. And now for the final go home show of the week before SummerSlam, we have Smackdown. And Smackdown gets underway with Xavier Woods in the ring for a 76. Xavier Woods is going to oversee the contract signing segment for the Universal Championship match at SummerSlam between his two New Day brothers, Big E and Kofi Kingston. He's in the ring, and Kofi Kingston, the challenger, makes his entrance for a 78, followed by the champion Big E coming out to an 84 here. And then Big E and Kofi Kingston go back and forth. A lot of love for each other, showing a lot of respect, bigging each other up. But Kofi Kingston talking about getting this opportunity again, how when he got it originally against Daniel Bryan, how Big E and Xavier were there for him, and how much it means to him to get another opportunity at a world title and to get it in the ring with Big E, someone he has so much love and respect for, and how out of respect for Big E and for himself, for his family, he needs Big E to know that he's going to give everything he's got in that match to walk out Universal Champion. And Big E saying that he'd expect and want nothing less from Kofi, saying that Kofi is an incredible competitor. You know, getting to work with him is one of the highlights of his career. But come SummerSlam, Big E, just like Kofi, is going to give it everything he's got, going to put everything he has into it to try and walk out there Universal Champion. They signed the contract, they show some respect. Xavier Woods there as well, not saying much, leaving it to Big E and Kofi mainly here, as Big E and Kofi stare down to end the segment. Gets a 90. Really good work from these guys. Looking forward to their match at SummerSlam. Before we head into the first match of this evening, it's Montez Ford taking on Ricochet. Montez Ford Intercontinental title match at SummerSlam against Thaddeus Bullard and Heyman at ringside for this match. And get to watch as Montez Ford picks up the victory with the frog splash here against Ricochet for a 74. Ford off his game, sadly. Hopefully that won't be the case at SummerSlam. But Ford gets a 74 and Ricochet gets a 55. After the match, Thaddeus Bullard undoing his tie, taking his blazer off, handing them and the Intercontinental to Heyman as he goes in the ring and he starts attacking Ford. He goes for the Bullard bomb, he picks him up and Ford manages to fight off Bullard a bit, giving him blows to the head before turning it into a hurricanrana, taking Bullard down, Bullard getting to his feet into a big drop kick from Ford, Ford climbing to the top for a frog splash, but Bullard managing to get out the ring in time, him and Heyman retreating up the ramp, Bullard not looking impressed, but Ford fired up for their match for an 88, really good segment. And then we go backstage to an interview with Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair talking about their respective SummerSlam opponents, Charlotte Flair, not Charles Robinson, and Peyton Royce. Later tonight there'll be a tag team match between those pairs, Rhea and Bianca, both from NXT from around the same time, and talking about being champions. Bianca talking about wanting to deal with Peyton and proving that she can say she's iconic all she wants, but she can't stand up to the EST. And Ripley talking about wanting to deal with Charlotte once and for all, to take that dark spot in her memory, in her record as NXT Women's Champion, losing the title to Charlotte, and finally getting her moment in the ring, beating Charlotte, keeping that Women's Universal title for a 76 here. Good works from these two. As next up we have Nia Jax taking on Nikki Cross. Nia Jax coming out on top for a 53, 46 from Jax, 44 from Cross. After the match, Naomi and Jax, the Bloodline, taking out Bliss and Cross, standing tall. Naomi and Jax in that fatal four-way tag team match for the women's tag title at SummerSlam last week, aligning themselves with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline as well, and proving very dominant at the moment, these two, for a 62 here in the post-match segment. We then go backstage to Bullard and Heyman. Bullard still top button undone. He's got to put his blazer on, his tie's kind of round his neck. Kayla Braxton asking on Bullard's thoughts about what happened. Heyman goes to talk and Bullard just stops him and says, Montez Ford wants to show disrespect. Montez Ford thinks he can go toe to toe with me and that's his mistake. But it's a mistake I'll happily let him make because he wants this. I'll give it to him. I'll show him what real wrestling is, and I'll make him wish he never became number one contender when I destroy him at SummerSlam to keep this Intercontinental title. Before Bullard and Heyman walk off. 77 for the segment. Very good work from these guys. Next up, we have Dolph Ziggler taking on Leon Ruff. The Dirty Dogs picky on Leon Ruff a bit, trying to make his life difficult. Ruff losing his debut to Fury last week, but had enough with Dirty Dog's insults, getting this match with Dolph Ziggler now, and in the end, Dolph Ziggler, he's on top for a large portion, but in the end, Leon Ruff kind of hulks up a bit, gets the momentum going. Dolph Ziggler wins the momentum back a little, going for the zigzag, but Leon Ruff managing to fight out of it before rolling Dolph Ziggler up for the 1-2-3. Leon Ruff getting a massive win here over Dolph Ziggler for a 56, 68 from Dolph, 34 from Ruff. The two doing all right here. Ruff getting a massive win. And then after the match, Dirty Dogs, Rude and Storm at ringside, shocked, angry, storm into the ring to go after Ruff. But Leon Ruff manages to escape the ring in time. Rude and Storm shouting at Ruff to get back in here. And Ruff just smiling as he escapes through the crowd, celebrating with the fans, getting this massive win over Dolph Ziggler, who just looks lost in the middle of the ring, to be honest. For a 63 here. Happy with this. As we head into the earlier mentioned tag team match, we have the $1 Million Champion Bianca Belair and the Women's Universal Champion Rhea Ripley taking on the Queen of the Ring Charlotte Flair and Peyton Royce. And in the end, it comes down to Belair and Charlotte in the ring. The two are slogging it out. Bianca Belair manages to get Charlotte onto her shoulders, set up for the KOD when Billie Kay comes onto the ringside, attempts to get in the ring. Belair dropping Charlotte to the floor. Bianca Belair going to Billie Kay, attacking her, picking her up for the KOD and hitting it onto her. But with Bianca Belair down, it allows Charlotte Flair to hit natural selection onto Belair and following up with the figure 8 lead lock. And Bianca Belair in pain, but also maybe an eye on her match at SummerSlam on the weekend, days away, tapping out, and Charlotte Flair and Peyton Royce coming out on top here for a 62. Happy with that. 68 from Ripley, 67 from Charlotte, 54 Bianca, and 45 Royce. Charlotte and Royce don't work well as a tag team. I don't intend to use them as a tag team going forward, so that's fine with me. But it is Charlotte Flair and Payne Royce, the challengers, that get the momentum heading into SummerSlam. We then go backstage, Dirty Dog storming into Paige's office. They're angry, they're shouting her, they're demanding some repercussions for Leon Ruff. They're saying he cheated, they're saying he hooked the tights, his legs are on the rope. Paige telling them to stop, you know, and saying that I saw the match earlier, and you know what? I think there should be some consequences for Ruff. And Dirty Dog's very happy at this, and Paige says, beating a seasoned veteran like Dolph Ziggler like that in only his second match, that's the type of thing that deserves consequences, deserves some repercussions. So here's what I'm going to do. SummerSlam, Storm Brood, you need challengers for your tag titles. So it's going to be you two against Leon Ruff and a partner of his choosing for those titles. Rude and Storm a little angry at first, but then smiling. Maybe realising this means they'll get their hands on Ruff, they can deal with him their way. Thanking Paige for this decision, saying they look forward to it for a 66. Who will Ruff choose to be his partner? We'll have to wait to find out. As we head into the main event of this evening with Ace Austin against Johnny Gargano. They fought a few. Ace Austin making his debut, costing Johnny Gargano in the King of the Ring against King Corbin. Austin and Gargano went head to head earlier this month, but Austin getting disqualified in the end, and now they're getting their hands on each other once again. One-on-one, Ace Austin versus Johnny Gargano. And in the end, Johnny Gargano locks in the he locks in a submission and picks up the victory. Ace Austin, no choice but to tap, and Johnny Gargano gets his revenge on Austin and picks up the win here for a 77. Really happy with this from these two. Ace Austin doing well in his first little feud here. Gargano no longer with Tommaso Ciampa and on his own and doing well in his first singles feud on SmackDown here as well. Getting a 75, really good. And Austin getting a 57. Then after the match, King Corbin going in the ring. King Corbin aligned with Ace Austin, of course. Gargano celebrating on the turnbuckle, turns around. King Corbin going for the end of days, but Gargano flipping through it, taking King Corbin down and locking the Gargano escape. King Corbin tapping out, but Gargano not breaking hold. In the end he does though, Corbin rolling out the ring along with Ace Austin, who's already done it, as Gargano celebrates in the ring some more, getting the win for an 82 here. Really happy with this as Gargano comes out on top in the end. And then to end the show, we have the entrance of the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Jacob Fatu, Naomi and Nia Jax for an 82 here. Roman gets the mic and he talks about his match at SummerSlam against The Rock, saying that the WWE Universe boos Roman, but they cheer The Rock, and it doesn't make any sense to him. Because out of the two of them, who is here week in, week out, putting on 5-star classic after 5-star classic? It's not Dwayne, who can't even be bothered to be here tonight, days before SummerSlam. A day before SummerSlam, before their match. No, it's Roman Reigns. People complain about Roman Reigns being shoved down their throat, about Roman Reigns winning all the time. Well, maybe Roman Reigns wins all the time because Roman Reigns is the best superstar in this company. Maybe that's why he gets shoved down their throat, because no one holds a candle to Roman Reigns in the ring, on the mic. So at SummerSlam, what's going to happen is the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns is going to deal with Dwayne once and for all. He's going to whoop his ass. He's going to pin him in the ring. He's going to make Dwayne, the one everyone loves, he's going to make him acknowledge him as the Tribal Chief. And then, after he's done that, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns says he will do whatever he damn well pleases, and there's not a damn thing anyone else can do about it. For an 84 here, Roman Reigns, very clear with how he thinks this match with The Rock's going to go. Very direct with his thoughts heading into it. Hopefully it'll be a really good match between the two. Really good segments between so far, helping this go-home show of SmackDown heading into SummerSlam to get a 82 overall. Pretty good. Happy with that. Increased our pop in 27 regions. Can't complain. Good show overall, keeping all the feuds going. And that is it on the build up to SummerSlam. I'll go over the card for you all now. We have Rhea Ripley taking on Charlotte Flair for the Women's Universal Championship. Breezango defend their Raw Tag Team titles against the Celtic Warriors, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Keith Lee defends the NXT North American Championship against Bobby Lashley. Bianca Belair defends her $1 million championship against Iconics member Peyton Royce. The Cruiserweight Tag Team titles are up for grabs when the Swords of Essex, Will Ospreay and Scotty Essex defend against Legado, Humberto Carrillo and Santos Escobar. An injury to Kevin Owens drastically changed the match, but instead of one good replacement, there are 5 because we have a United States ladder match between Kyle O'Reilly defending against AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy, Seth Rollins and The Miz. That should be an amazing match, I hope. We have Damian Priest taking on the Demon, Finn Balor. He beat Finn Balor. Can he take out the Demon as well? Asuka defends her Women's World title against Miss Money in the Bank, Ember Moon, announcing her cash-in advance, wanting Asuka 100% she says to prove that she can beat Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow. We have for the NXT Championship Randy Orton, the Legend Killer, the Viper, one of the best professional wrestlers of all time, against the champion, the undefeated, unstoppable Karrion Kross. Who will come out on top? I have very high hopes. And in the main event of night 1, we have Roman Reigns versus The Rock, Tribal Chief against the Great One. Who will come out on top? Will The Rock acknowledge Roman Reigns, or will Roman Reigns be embarrassed by his cousin? We will have to wait to find out, but I'm very much excited for that. Night 2, we have for the Intercontinental title, Thaddeus Bullard defending against Montez Ford. The women's tag title is up for grabs when the Riot Squad defend against Raw's Sky Pirates, NXT's team of Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and from SmackDown, the Bloodline, Naomi and Nia Jax. Andrade defends his Cruiserweight Championship against very fresh new superstar Dominic Mysterio, son of Rey, who Andrade beat for the title in his first ever championship match, in his first ever pay-per-view match. How will he do? I think if anyone can drag him to a really good match, it'll be Andrade, to be honest. For the SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Dirty Dogs, Rude and Storm, defend against Leon Ruff and a partner of his choosing. Who will he choose? We'll have to wait and find out. He asked for this match, and now he's going to get it. It is The Fiend versus the Velveteen Dream. Dream said he could defeat Fiend in 4 minutes flat, but will he be able to back those words up with action in the ring? We'll have to wait and see. The hardcore title up for grab between Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa in a hardcore match, of course. Who will come out on top in what is sure to be a brutal matchup? The NXT Women's title up for grab as Tegan Nox defends against Becky Lynch, one of the biggest female superstars in the entire industry, going for the championship. She never won. Will she be able to expunge that blemish from her record? We will find out at SummerSlam. The Universal title up for grabs when Big E defends against one of his best friends, his brothers, his New Day teammate Kofi Kingston. Face versus face matches don't do too well in TEW, so rating wise I don't have the highest of hopes, but I still think it's a very good match, and I'm very happy to be booking it, to be honest, still. We have Aleister Black versus John Cena. Not much to say. A dream match between someone very new to WWE with such high potential and, of course, the 16-time world champion, John Cena. Can Aleister Black beat John Cena, or John Cena's experience bring him through it on top? And in the main event, we have for the WWE Championship, Edge defending against the King of the Ring, Angel Garza. At WrestleMania, Angel Garza having his big moment, winning the Cruiserweight title and the Defiant title, but then crashing down, vacating the Cruiserweight title, losing the NXT Championship match to Cross, but winning King of the Ring, and now for a shot at the biggest piece of gold in the business, the WWE Championship, against Edge, who says that he is not ready to give it up. Who will come out on top? We will find out at SummerSlam in the next episode. And if you're looking forward to that, if you've enjoyed this episode and you want to see where it goes next, please like and subscribe for more. And thank you for watching.